How do I do it all? The Brezza gives me the power.
171 then in the first 20 overs of cricket played at the Ekana Stadium in Lucknow in this year's IPL. And as always, we'll have conversations about the pitch. It's just something that seems to go with games at Lucknow. The home team, after being put into bat with a few 40s and could be a very significant 27-12 by Abdul Samad, have got to 171. This is Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout. Halftime analysis from Varun, Matt Roller, and the man who was both most and least accurate, Nick Knight. He was dead on or almost with the score, but for some reason, even though I didn't even ask him for that question, all I asked him was about Pooran. He said Pant's going to have a really good game.
I said Pant was going to get 88 as well. I don't know where I got that from, but I was way off.
Right, what do you make of 171 though? Is that actually a good score, all things considered?
I don't think it's a good score. I think it's an okay score. I think it's a defendable score. I think they're in the game, absolutely. I don't think it's a sort of pitch that's certainly not a belter. I don't think it's the sort of pitch that they're going to want to play on LSG for the rest of the tournament if they're going to play, obviously, their home games. I don't think it quite suits them.
Right.
Have they scrambled themselves to a decent score? Yeah, I think they have. Arshdeep penultimate over might be pretty costly. For some reason he wanted to go Yorkers, wide Yorkers. I think it's a pitch where you want to bowl into the surface. Jansen did it a bit more and then Arshdeep did it a little bit better in his last. Yeah, game on.
Very expensive, Arshdeep. We'll come to him in a second. But yes, pitch doctor time. How is this Lucknow surface today?
I think it was a bit, I would say, there was a lot of lateral movement because if you see the way Miller got out, you generally don't see that in the IPL, that a ball holds its line. It didn't, I mean, and seam away, and there was a lot of bounce as well. It's not like Jansen was bowling above 140, he was bowling like in the mid 130s, I would say early 130s, and he was getting bounce, and the keeper was catching above his chest. So there was a lot of bounce on occasion and a little lateral movement, which actually took them by surprise at the start.
Interesting. Okay. Everything you've written down as the analyst in the dugout. Go on then.
Well, I was particularly noting down about Samad, really, who I couldn't quite believe. I had to refresh the app. I couldn't believe it. He's only 23. It feels like he's been around forever. But he's been in the IPL since 2020, and here he is now.
Raunak loves these.
I'm just saying the irony of Matt with, oh my God, he doesn't look as young as he is. The irony of it coming from the 12-year-old Harry Potter spectacled Matt Roller. But yeah, he's been around a while. He actually cops a bit of criticism with people forgetting that, sometimes, this is screen age versus real age. You've seen him on TV for so many years, but he's been young.
But yeah, he's played 50 games now in the IPL, so he's got some experience, but he is still a young player. But yeah, he's obviously spent all of his IPL career pretty much at Sunrisers. Probably had some up and down seasons within that. I remember being at a game in Jaipur a couple of years ago when he got a reprieve off the last ball when Sandeep Sharma oversteps and then hit the
6 of the last ball to win the game.
Exactly, which was a great moment, but he's never quite fulfilled maybe the potential that people have seen in him. So it's great to see, I think, him, Nick was saying Arshdeep maybe didn't bowl as well as he could in the circumstances, but if we focus on Samad, he was inventive and powerful as well, hitting that first ball over cover for 6.
Yeah, I mean, striking at 225 when Pooran's gone at 140 and Badoni's gone at 120, and those are the only two batters worth really mentioning. Markram, 150. So it's a significant score if they are to defend it. But let's just break down whether Lucknow got the best out of what might have, let's call it tricky for now. It's not necessarily a belter. But the way their power play started, they were 4 down, or rather 3 down very quickly. Where do we afford the analysis in the power play to blame on the batters, some of the shots from Pant, Markram after getting a start? Or was it down to some great bowling?
I would say Ashdeep's first over was really good. His penultimate over wasn't that great, but other than his third over, I think he bowled really well today. Getting Marsh out is always, like we spoke in the pre-show, getting early wickets sets back teams a long way with the way the game is played today. I would say that was really good bowling, especially the ball which got Markram out as well. Just a little of nibble back from the surface. Lockie Ferguson was brave enough to still pitch it up because he got hit for a 6 and a 4 before that. But I think it was a very brave performance by Punjab, all in all.
One of the matchups you didn't bring up was Maxwell versus Pant, which I believe is real matchup now.
Yeah, third time he's got him in the IPL from I think 4 times he's bowled at him, so gone really well. And it was interesting to see that they didn't go with the new ball combination we thought they might, which was Janssen sharing it with Archie.
Yes, they went Lockie
Ferguson instead, which might have been a specific thing to go hard at Pooran, as we discussed.
Yeah, and he came in on the fourth ball of the innings. What I want to get into about Pant, and Nick, you can take us through this, is I think I heard Deep Dasgupta on commentary saying he could have hit that anywhere. Sometimes those dismissals are, I mean, it's not the first time I've seen Pant get out like that. And what it tells you about where a batter is, where his own game is.
What it tells me is where he is with his own game, because when you play that shot, and Deep's right, he could have hit it anywhere, but he couldn't really hit it anywhere else but where he was from that position. He was here. Body weight was all back. So the ball was coming to him, and the only thing he could do was help it on its way. When you play that shot, ideally you want to be here. Then you can hit it there, then you can hit it there, and then you can hit it there.
Yeah.
So Deep's right, it's a shot that really he should have been able to hit, but because he was so committed here. So what's that telling you? It's telling me anyway, and I could be very, very wrong here, but what it's telling me is he's waiting for the ball to come to him in a slightly negative way. When you're at your best as a batter, you're searching for the ball, your body weight's forward, you're coming at me, I'm coming at you. You're in that position rather than I'm waiting for it. I'm a little uncertain, I'm not sure what it's going to do, I'll help it on its way from there. Yeah. So that's telling me, A, what's going on up here, and B, the problem was he couldn't really hit it anywhere else.
Yeah. I think with Pant, his go-to has always been try to play behind square.
Yes.
Something really interesting about Pant, which I discovered recently, in his best years, 18 and 19,
yes,
he was caught only 9% behind square. In the last 2 years, he's been caught 25% behind square.
Okay.
So that's a big jump in percentage. That just means bowlers are up to it that he's waiting for bowlers to bowl into him and try to scoop them. They aren't doing it anymore. They're actually following him a little better. So if you've just been caught 9% behind square in your best years, and now it's 25%, that's a big jump. And he's been getting caught a lot behind square.
Ooh, I'm going to revisit this at the end of the game, because this is... Lucknow have paid big money for him. He's got big responsibility. It doesn't look like a batter who's either high on confidence or in form.
Well, I think part of it might just be sheer lack of cricket, in that he's played very, very little in 2025. He obviously was not involved in the starting 11, at least in the Champions Trophy, and he's not played hardly any cricket heading into this IPL. And I'm sure Nick can attest to what that does for a batter. Sometimes it can freshen you up, and sometimes it can leave you a bit undercooked.
It's vastly experienced Indian and IPL players. If they opt out of cricket, it's usually down to their own.
The game is played here.
Right.
When you're that good and you're playing international cricket and you're playing high-level franchise cricket, batters tend to worry about technical stuff. We all do it. We've all done it. You go in the nets, I'm not scoring runs. Why is this? My leg's doing that, my head's doing that, my hands are doing that. It's your mind. Your mind is telling you, I'm not really committing. I'm not really committing to the ball. I'm not really committing to the shot. And that's when you get in that tentative halfway house. Oh, just lost it. Oh, it's just gone up here. And we've all done it. And we've all been there for many times. Watch the ball and commit to the shot.
Well, he only played the one game since the Border Gavaskar Trophy in the IPL. That was, of course, a Ranji Trophy group game where Ayush Badoni was his captain. Badoni has played what you said was a player that needs to stand up for them. I guess this suits Badoni, this kind of situation in some ways. For a young man, he tends to at least take the game deep, something we were critical nobody at KKR did last night. But how do you look at his innings?
I think you're spot on there. It's kind of his situation, because if you see, irrespective of the situation, he's playing similar strike rates. He's going to have to go back to what he did a few years ago, where he was actually taking the game away from the opposition. Exactly what somebody like Shashank might do tonight.
Sure. That's good example for someone like him.
But Badoni was that kind of a breakout player in his first year. But ever since, he's not had, I would say maybe he's had a couple of innings at best to match up to what he started off with.
Pooran, on the other hand, not wasted form, even today, 44th.
That's the comment. That's it. You're spot on, Raunak. Don't waste your form. Don't abuse your form. We've all done it. You know, the best players in the world, they just keep churning them out, keep doing the same thing. What I thought was really impressive, actually, with Pooran tonight was he was very selective about the shots he played. Yeah. And that is not abusing your form. I've scored a couple of half centuries. I'm in great form. I'm hitting it beautifully. Everything, I'm top of my game. Bang, straight up, gone. 10. Whereas actually, I've lost my partner early on. We've lost a couple of wickets. I just need to be a little bit, I just need to rein it back fractionally and then pick the right ball. And that's what he did so beautifully.
But eventually, that Pooran innings was cut short. Because Varun Aaron saw it. He saw it. He saw Yuzvendra Chahal get him for just the second time. That accounts for all his dismissals to leg spin, if Matt Roller is to be believed. And therefore, let's talk about the dismissal and what Chahal has mastered here to get him.
Look, Chahal has a lion tattoo on his chest, and I really believe that he does have a lion tattoo on his chest. And don't give me that look. We've all been in the same dressing room. Yeah, but he has got lion heart, because if you see the previous over, he went for a 6 and 3 4s, and then he's gone and tossed it up again. It's not like he's just bowled sliders. I mean, that just shows the amount of guts he has. He's been birthed, I would say, in the Chinnaswamy Stadium, because that's the toughest place to bowl in. So he does manage to get the big batsman out all the time.
Yeah,
you have to though, don't you? Yeah. To Nicholas Pooran, you've got to be brave.
100%.
Because really, for all the 4s and 6s he hits you, you've got to get him out.
True.
And that's exactly what he did so well.
That's the only way to stop him.
Yeah, you got to. Sometimes you just got to buy a wicket a little bit, or be brave.
I was thinking about that. Chahal's figures 1 for 36. In isolation, you'd maybe say you wouldn't necessarily take that. But then when you consider, firstly, that he went for, I think, 14 in his first 4 balls.
Yes.
But secondly, when you consider that the one was Pooran, I reckon they probably would have taken that before the game, given how destructive Pooran has been this season.
Piyush Chawla also brought up this important point of we should remember Ekanna is one of the bigger grounds in the IPL, and therefore how spinners would enjoy bowling it more. But yeah, full credit to Yuzvendra Chahal, 1 for 36. Very good day for Marco Jansen, 1 for 28 in a slightly different role. No new ball, but seemed. How do you rate Marco Jansen's effect today?
I think he assessed the conditions and stuck to his guns. He realized it's not a day to bowl slowers and Yorkers that much. There was something in offer from the wicket, and he exploited that to the maximum.
Arshdeep, that penultimate over, must get into it now. Does it look like this game was looking at 155, 160? If it goes to a close game, we'll have to revisit the bowling plan there. You rate Arshdeep very highly, don't you, Nick? Yeah. So what is it that you didn't quite find right?
I think the first 2 balls he bowled length. I can't remember. I think watching it live, he bowled and he got hit for a 4, or he got hit for a couple of boundaries, and then straight away he went wide Yorker. I just think at that point, and I'm not just saying it in hindsight, I was there last night with Harshit Rana. I think sometimes you've just got to realise that the pitch is really to bowl into, vary your pace, don't need to go wide Yorker on that situation. He just went there because he got punished in the first ball or 2. A little bit like Vaishek, everyone was contributing and complimenting him because he kept doing the right thing and got rewarded for it. I think keep doing the right thing was into the pitch.
I think what's happened there is, and I don't know if we've got the numbers on it, but even those 2 boundaries were wide. So he's gone into the pitch but across, and I think Samad has got this impression that either his strong zone is straight or across. So they've tried to go wide. But to his credit, Samad's played a couple of good shots there. And after that, Arshdeep has continued going wide and full. Eventually, it's led to a 20-run over and then a finish in the last over, which was all right. But yeah, Samad, I guess he deserves more credit there.
I would say so. I think we should give credit to Samad as well, because 8 out of those 20 runs, one was off the bottom of his bat, wide outside off stump, which is quite freakish. And I think it was Ferguson and Stoinis. They were not really committed to stopping the ball.
Sure.
And the other one was a crazy scoop.
That's actually a great shot.
Yeah,
Let's talk about that one shot.
So those 2 balls were well. See, as a bowler in T20 cricket, all you can do is execute. And I think he executed his deliveries really well. They were just good shots.
Yeah, I mean that one. If I've seen it go off the edge, I haven't seen it go off the middle where he's literally, once the ball's well behind him, found a way to use his wrists to still get it over the left shoulder of the keeper.
So mad.
So mad.
That's a good one.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, I thought I'd let it resonate.
We're all done.
Let it breathe.
We're all done.
Let it breathe. Yeah, okay, excellent. Win probability still says this is Punjab's game, 62.97%. So do we sense that this is still Punjab's advantage? And maybe let's talk about how they plan to approach this chase, given what they've shown us in the last game.
Well, they've already made a sub, haven't they, in the first innings, bringing Badera in, who's shown some promise with Mumbai Indians in the past, so it'd be interesting to see how he goes with the
very good
franchise.
Domestically with Punjab as well, Nehal Badera, left-hander too.
And it looks like a relatively deep batting lineup again, if you think Jansen will probably come in at 8 or 9 even, given that change. So I think Punjab have the luxury of being able to go hard. They obviously have a couple of uncapped players who are going to come out swinging probably at the top of the order, try and get ahead of the game in the power play, and I think they're a good chance here.
You sense they'll come out hard as well, Nick, or is this a game to...
I was trying to work through it, actually. I was thinking, I mean, their lineup's very right-hander based, isn't it? Top order, particularly.
Priyansh is the exception there.
Yeah.
But yep, after
Who
that...
I'm really impressed with, by the way. I thought he was terrific in that first game. I think it's a pretty even game. I don't like to sit on the fence here, but I think it's a pretty even game because I think that's a reasonable score. I said 174, it's 171. I don't think it's a good score, but I think it's an okay score. They've only played one game, Punjab, so they're quite a hard side to assess.
I'm trying to think of whether they have the bowling resources that that Punjab had today, the bowlers that were successful. So if I run through that team, Avish Khan, Shardul Thakur, Ravi Bishnoi, Digvesh Rathi, presumably with some more spin, and we'll wait for their impact sub.
Might be worth a left armour with all those.
I mean, that's a call they need to take. Either Prince Yadav, who we know can bowl 40 Yorkers if you want him to, or M. Siddharth's left arm spin with the new ball. Varun?
I think I would love to see a wickets in hand kind of a batting approach, because if they actually have a decent power play, not go ballistic, keep wickets in hand, they can actually easily run away with this game. But I wouldn't want them to go really hard up top, because that could, especially with Shardul, he's actually getting some good shape on the ball. I would say Shardul is up in contention to get a lot of wickets tonight if they go hard like they've been doing.
I'd quite like to see a finger spinner bowl into the surface, which I'm not sure we're going to see.
Shabazz is their option, but it is a dumb...
Siddharth actually had a first decent game. He went at 9s and he got 2 wickets in the first game.
Yeah, I think they just went a tactical call against Sunrisers not
because
to
of the lefties. So I think we might just see him back today as an impact.
It wouldn't be a bad thing, because the leg spin has to get it up and over. You can't really bowl it into the surface.
I'm curious to see if they've already named it, because the innings is just underway. And they haven't, because if Siddharth is the impact player, usually that's something that happens in the first over, because he comes in with the new ball. Right, Shardul Thakur bowling to Prabh Simran and Priyansh Arya. Time to get predictions. And I quite like what I started with this Pooran thing, so I'm going to keep it going until it goes stale. So my question will be, who's winning this, of course, and how will Shreyas Iyer fare? As you say, he's going to get an unbeaten 80-90, or are you going to say, how's he going to be dismissed? Right, Matt Rolla.
I think Punjab will do it with an over to spare, and I think Shreyas will get 50.
Okay, very good. Varun?
I would go Shreyas will get runs today. Do you want to know exactly how much?
The range would be nice.
40 to 60.
That's good. Like Matt said, 50. Yeah.
Yeah, and it will be a close game.
But to finish, Punjab will win it?
Will win, yes.
All right. Nick Knight?
Well, based on those two, I'm going to have to go luck now, just to level it up. And I think Shreyas is going to get 15.
15? Oh, okay. That's nice.
88 and 15.
88 and 15, and I'm going to be very wrong on both.
Now, based on what Nick Knight is saying, I'm going to go Punjab and Shreyas to absolutely smash it. So anyway, I think they'll win this in record time. I think they're going to make a mockery out of that score.
You've just seen a 4 hit, that's why.
I'm so fickle. And I watch one ball and there you go. There I am. Thank you, Nick Knight, Varun and Matt Rolla. We're on the edge of our seats already for this game. 2 points, 2 big points up for grabs for both Punjab and Lucknow. Let's see how it goes, and then we'll welcome your thoughts and comments in our post show. Join us then for Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout.
How do I do it all? The Brezza gives me the power.